I read a book recently on the mental side of peak performance. It's a book written by Timothy Galway, and it's called The Inner Game of Tennis. It's a lot different than the other tennis resources I've looked up, in that the main focus is on the mental side of the game. The author argues that it is equally important to anything you can find on technique or strategy, in that you can have, as you've probably noticed, it doesn't matter how good your technique is if you allow your the mental side to affect your play. The main point of the book is that athletes can be broken down into two components: the self one, which is the inner voice inside your head, and self two, which are your instincts, anticipation, coordination, movement, everything like that. It's only when we allow our body to perform unhindered can we reach peak performance. And the reason for that is self one, the little voice, will be judging every action that we do on the court, and eventually over time it becomes biased in its judgment. And whereas if we're able to keep that voice quiet, we're able to just focus on the moment, what we need to do. We're not thinking about the past, the future. We're just thinking about focusing on hitting the ball, meeting the ball where we need to, follow through, and thinking of the next shot. The way he suggests to quiet that voice is by focusing, because by strengthening our focus, we're able to quiet that voice. The voice needs to the mind needs to start focusing on the task at hand, which is hitting the ball. So it starts to focus more on the seams of the ball, the logo on the ball, so it can't think about all these other thoughts that you may have on the court. He has a great belief that the mind is quite extraordinary, in that it only needs to learn how to hit a shot, the proper way to hit a shot, a few times before it's ingrained in the mind. And from that point on, every shot you hit, there's a reconciliation between what just happened and the optimal way to hit a shot. And then your mind eventually starts making adjustments on your body. Starts making adjustments on its own, because it has the capacity and capability to do so. Equally important is knowing how you're hitting a ball, what you're doing, where your racket is when the ball is coming off the opponent's racket, when it's over the net, when the ball bounces in front of you, when you're where your racket is when you're setting up the shot, as you're striking to meet the ball, and as you're following through. Only if you know what you're doing can you have a better idea of whether it's closer to the ingrained image in your head or not. One interesting thing is I've taken lessons from two different instructors, and my first instructor, he would subscribe to Timothy's, or the author of this book's approach, where he advocates not thinking about what we're doing, every little component of the shot, but rather reaching the end point, what we want to do. Not to say that he's just looking at the result, but he's looking at, if I were to guess, I would believe he thinks that we're able to make our own corrections for the little imperfections in our form. And then the second instructor that I took lessons from, he's much more technical, where he will guide you step by step into the process of hitting each individual stroke. So both subscribe to different approaches, but I can't really say one is right and one is wrong. You could very well use both. So that I found quite interesting. I would definitely suggest most players picking this up, as the applications are not just limited to tennis, as the mental aspect of the game is important for all sports, and it could be even applied to other areas of your life as well. So just something that if you have a couple hours, something to check out. All right.